yang bisa mengangkat trofi si kuping lebar di akhir laga dalam partai final UEFA Champions League. Paris Saint-Germain berhadapan dengan Internazionale. Dari studio kami ucapkan selamat menikmati.
This match is brought to you by Qatar Airways, UEFA Champions League official sponsor.
Coming in the Champions League, Bradley Barcola misses out. 19-year-old Desiree Doué keeping his place. Istvan Kovac from Romania completes the full set of UEFA Men's Finals by taking charge in Munich. Taking charge of the Europa League final in 2024 and also the Conference League final in 2022. Roma's win over Feyenoord. In their third strip this evening, we're in the yellow. Inter have lost just one of their 14 games and they won through after extra time 7-6 on aggregate in their thrilling semi-final against Barcelona. Jan Sommer's made more saves than anybody who had Thibaut Courtois of Real Madrid this season. Benjamin Pavard replaces Jan Pisak alongside 37-year-old Francesco Acerbi. Lautaro Martinez has got over the thigh injury which saw him substituted in both legs of the semi-final. 7 of this team started the 2023 final defeat by Manchester City. A 37-year-old at the back, and Inter, the oldest team in this season's competition. Tonight's average age, 30 years and 242 days. Anticipation before this Champions League final of 2025, and we should expect a fast start given what both these teams did in the first leg of their semi-finals. PSG defeating Arsenal, Dembele scoring after just 4 minutes, and Inter in front after just 30 seconds at the count now.
Well, this is just set up to be one of the most exciting Champions League finals we've had for many years. We know that they can be tight, nervy affairs, but I think we're yet to see this Paris Saint-Germain team in that kind of a game. So I'm expecting it to be a really good watch.
Here's Thuram. Really strong run by Marcus Thuram. Successful against Arsenal in the semi-final after winning against Premier League opposition Aston Villa in the quarter-final, and also in the round of 16 a penalty shootout success against Liverpool after 1-1 aggregate scoreline. Should it be necessary, we will have extra time and maybe a penalty shootout at the end of tonight's final. To pressure. Forced to put the ball out of play. An error which has given Paris some encouragement.
It's a feature of the new Paris Saint-Germain, isn't it? That high-intensity press they deliver makes life very, very difficult for opponents.
The Portuguese international. Marquinhos. He loses out. And concedes the free kick.
See the game plan, can't you, from Inter Milan? Once they win the ball, they're going to look to spring as quickly as they can, try and catch PSG maybe a little bit out of shape.
Pavard hasn't played since the end of April because of an ankle problem. Martinez with the interception this time.
Well, look who he got ahead of there. That's Benjamin Pavard, the right side central defender, playing at the minute. It's a left-sided forward, and that's some of the problems that Inter can cause opponents. That rotation, very comfortable doing that.
As you say, John, two very different styles. So much pace up front for Paris. Inter happy to sit back, happy to absorb whatever Paris can throw at them. Kvaratskhelia, who joined Paris in January from Napoli, he's got the potential of being a champion in two countries and maybe even a Champions League winner. International scored a terrific goal against Arsenal in the semi-final. Doué on his way. That is a foul. Doué pushed over. It's a decision which has baffled Bastoni.
Yeah, it's understandable, really. He's complaining. Very, very minimal contact. Some of the Inter supporters' reaction to that. It's just a little hand there. I mean, there is a little shove. Always a risk.
Simone Inzaghi pacing up and down on the edge of his technical area. Coutinho over this free kick. Plenty of movement inside the Inter penalty area. And the danger still hasn't been cleared. Helped away by Achabi. Coutinho again. Marquinhos rising highest.
Well, a couple of really testing deliveries into that danger area for Inter. I kind of thought if anybody was going to test the other team from set pieces, it may have been Inter testing PSG.
Bastoni. Di Marco. Won back by the energetic Doué. Coutinho very much at the centre of things in midfield for Paris. Fabian Ruiz. Helped on again by Doué. Coutinho was such an important job for PSG in the centre of midfield. Jean Neves. One set of PSG has changed completely now with Luis Enrique in charge. Hakimi again driving on. Tevez. Nuno Mendes. Fabian Ruiz. Hakimi. You're riding the challenge of Varela. Fabian Ruiz.
Just feel a little bit of momentum building, can't you?
Sommer, but an indication again of how much movement Paris have got up front. Remember one name on the PSG team sheet ahead of kick-off, which raised an eyebrow or two. Thuram. Tara Martinez. First opportunity for Dumfries to get forward.
And it almost feels like that was the first foray from Inter Milan into that PSG final third.
Mkhitaryan. Gonna get by Bastoni. International. One thing that Inter do have is experience. Average age of over 30 for this final. The experience of playing in the final just 2 years ago, where they were close to snatching a late equaliser in the closing stages against Manchester City in Istanbul. This season. Another attempt on target and another comfortable save for Sommer.
I think he's going to be a little bit disappointed. Hits this straight at Jan Sommer. It's comfortable again for the goalkeeper.
Away by Mkhitaryan.
They're just not looking after the ball into when they have it, which hasn't been much in these opening exchanges, it has to be said.
Fabian Ruiz. Coutinho. It's a delightful pass. Here's Doué. And it's been bundled in. Hakimi ensures that PSG have made the early breakthrough. It's his fourth goal in this season's Champions League. And the former Inter man has now put PSG in front.
Well, it's okay trying to sit back and soak up the pressure, but PSG look really at it. They look really sharp, and this is the third attempt. But it's that pass there between the lines, which is absolutely split Inter's back line open, and it's a simple pass, isn't it? Once Doué gets his head up, Hakimi free as a bird in the middle, and it's a familiar sight. That kind of goal they have been scoring all season long.
The frustration obvious on the face of Simone Inzaghi. Inter with one of the meanest defences in this season's Champions League are behind already. 12 minutes played.
Well, it was tough, wasn't it, really, for them, those opening 10, 12 minutes. They did not look after the ball, they didn't keep possession, they allowed wave after wave of PSG attack, and ultimately paid the price.
presence in the UEFA Champions League this season. Started all their fixtures along with Pacho, the Ecuadorian, at the centre of defence. They're not able to get beyond DeMarco this time. Another fullback or wingback who like Hakimi, likes to get forward, but so far neither Dumfries or DeMarco have been able to do that for Inter.
Well, they've been dominated, and that is going to have to change, because the pattern of this game for Inter cannot continue, otherwise this final will very quickly slip away from them.
Trailed after 87 minutes of the second leg, and still managed to win through after extra time. Which has been made of the change of format of the Champions League this season. More teams, more games, more jeopardy as well, given that PSG so nearly went out at the end of the group phase.
Yeah, I think both of these teams have each been on the brink of elimination, haven't they? Obviously, more recently Inter, when Rafinha of Barcelona scores an 87th minute goal, you think it's probably all over, but they dig deep and they're going to have to do that again here. And as for PSG, they didn't start the competition well, it put them under pressure. And they had a huge win against Manchester City, and they haven't really looked back since that second half, where they came from 2 goals behind to win 4-2.
To extra games, having gone into the knockout playoff, finishing 15th of 16. They lost 3 of their first 5, and they only defeated Girona with a 90th minute own goal.
Press is relentless from the French team here, and Inter really are struggling to cope with it at the moment.
But can they maintain it? Martinez. Tara Martinez, such a big player for Inter. He has been struggling with the thigh problem. That's much better from Thuram. Now Dumfries. Who's told to get back to his feet by Istvan Kovac. Game under pressure. Relentless running up front from Dembele. Nuno Mendes. Kvaratskhelia.
This is all coming from the intensity Paris Saint-Germain are bringing to this match. Real struggle out there for those Inter players. Looking down below, and Simone Inzaghi's trying to get instruction onto his team. Got to find a way of taking the sting and taking the momentum away from PSG here. I don't think there's any intent at all, but here's the goal again. And watch the movement there from Doué in behind the Inter defence. They didn't know he'd made the run, and he gets his head up, spots Hakimi, and it's as easy as you like. And a great start once again. Spoke about the fast starts that they've been able to make in games this season.
As you mentioned, a very Madrid. Neymar and Leo Messi leaving before Mbappe. There's a freshness and energy about the team assembled now by Luis Enrique. Janel is the big summer signing, signed from Benfica. To the PSG penalty area, knocked away in a fashion by Pacho. This is where PSG are at their most dangerous, when they have the opportunity to break forward quickly. Fabian Ruiz in the middle, joined now by Hakimi. Here's Doué, deflected in off DeMarco. It's 2-0 now for PSG. They can't get any better than this.
Shot, isn't it? And I think the deflection plays an enormous part. This was probably coming straight for Jan Sommer, but the deflection takes it past the goalkeeper, and Inter already have a mountain to climb here.
Desiree Doué, who turns 20 next week, getting an early birthday present, putting PSG 2 up.
The 2 goals that we've seen have been right out of the playbook, haven't they? We've seen them all season long, and Inter would have known what kind of threat Paris Saint-Germain pose. They just haven't been able to deal with it here.
Decision to clear by Donnarumma from there. Dumfries, problem. Martinez with the interception this time.
Well, look who he got ahead of there. That's Benjamin Pavard, the right side central defender, playing at the minute. It's a left-sided forward, and that's some of the problems that Inter can cause opponents. That rotation. Very comfortable doing that.
As you say, John, 2 very different styles. So much pace up front for Paris. Inter happy to sit back, happy to absorb whatever Paris can throw at them. Kvaratskhelia, who joined Paris in January from Napoli, gives you the potential of being a champion in 2 countries and maybe even a Champions League winner. Champions League final 2 years ago. He won the Belgian Cup with Antwerp. Belgium to Germany, to Eintracht Frankfurt, and now to PSG. PSG's movement.
To cope with the movement when PSG have the ball, and to cope with the press when PSG haven't got the ball, they've literally struggled.
Given away by Acerbi. Vitinha. Dembele.
Simply getting overrun. Those midfield three, Morella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, can't get anywhere near the ball. When they have it, they're under enormous pressure.
Hakimi again looking to torment. Fabian Ruiz. Another one straight at Sommer. He's made more saves than any other goalkeeper in the Champions League this season now. Using his body strength to hold off Pacho. Çalhanoğlu. Dumfries getting in behind, hanging in the air for Martinez. A little bit more encouragement for Inter.
Yeah, they need all the encouragement they can get. It's not surprising that positive thing happened down the sides with one of the wing backs.
Zaga's now taken off his jacket. You can see it there on the edge of his technical area, having more than a quiet word with DiMarco.
First time he was a little bit casual there. Hakimi it was that gave the ball away, but you see there DiMarco makes his run too early, he's offside, the flag goes up. This is the goal again. This is the bit where you feel the strike, it's going straight in the direction of Jan Sommer and you would expect him to save it, but the deflection, absolutely massive.
Telling his teammates to keep their concentration, it's not over yet. Bernardo Silva as skipper after PSG lost the final during the COVID season of 2020. Juventus, they drew 4-4 in that one, as we've touched on already. Last minute penalty in the penalty round, their 2-2 draw with Lazio, leaving them a point behind Napoli at the end of the campaign. Helped them again by the industrious Hakimi. Do it. Eventually.
There's a feeling of shock in the stadium, isn't there, really? I think French supporters are really enjoying it, but I think even they're surprised with the dominance that their team have been able to exert here.
Making his move. And again by Hakimi. Too high for Pacho. Di Marco.
Looking very isolated, aren't they? Marcus Thuram and Tauro. Martinez, no real service, no quality into them, no chances.
Fabian Ruiz. Spain squad that won the UEFA European Championship last year. A magnificent goal against Arsenal in the second leg of the semi-final. Is now out of position. PSG spring forward quickly again. Vitinha. Dembele. Dembele taking on Di Marco. Back for a corner.
Shake of the head. Federico Di Marco. It tells us all we need to know, doesn't it? Just got to find a way of hanging in here into while the game's 2. If they can get the next goal in this game, all of a sudden the dynamic may change.
Marquinhos. winning coach, having enjoyed success with Barcelona, final played against Juventus in Berlin. Thuram, Fries in support. Fries has gone forward and stayed forward. Çalhanoğlu. It's another corner.
Their only attempt has come from a corner, hasn't it? Sherby, 36 minutes in. They need more, and now is a good time.
Fries looking to make his presence felt. The header from Thuram is thudded wide. It was a chance.
Yeah. 2 chances from 2 corners. 2 chances that have gone a begging. 2 chances that both players, Sherby and now Thuram, probably have expected to do a little bit better with.
Players happy to take a breather, happy to take on some fluids. Simoe Inzaghi happy to pass on a few instructions as the team in yellow come to the near side touchline. Enrique having his say as well.
Fair play, that's the Inter fans we just saw there trying to nudge their team on. This is the opportunity. Big opportunity. These are the margins, aren't they? These are the situations you're going to win the UEFA Champions League. You have to take advantage of.
Mendes on the walls again, but back on his feet. His problems with injuries in the past. He was held back by a hamstring problem a couple of years back now. Having dislodged Lucas Hernandez in that left-sided defensive position. Can't call him a fullback. Curls from Vitinha. Doesn't put the ball away that often.
It's been a revelation since arriving at the club. Very important to how they want to play.
Takes charge. With a connection to one of your former clubs, Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Premier League in England. You had a spell on loan during the COVID season of 2021. Up towards Latura Martinez. Again, the idea was right, the execution not quite paying off for Inter. Bastoni. Thuram. Fries available, here he is. Martinez has made a darting run. Just ran away from Varela. He's done well to keep it in play. Dumfries. Knocked away by Pacha.
Again, better getting the ball down the sides, getting crosses in at least. Asking those PSG defenders to do some defending.
Held up here by Denzel Dumfries. Dembele. Hakimi. Kvaratskhelia, now in a central position. Hakimi. João Neves. Striding forward.
So good until that moment. It's almost like they'd realised they were just allowing Inter to get slowly back in terms of momentum. They decided to keep the ball for a couple of minutes there.
Bayern Munich, the Swiss international goalkeeper. Stage, just a couple of minutes, 2 minutes to go to half-time. Should be a minute or two stoppage time, given the head injury to Nuno Mendes.
It's all about managing the game, managing the time in sections. The next part to be reached is half-time with a 2-goal cushion.
That means he can have a rethink and regroup.
Yeah, very much so. Inzaghi may contemplate changes at half-time in personnel.
Inter stretched again. And what an opportunity that was for Dembele. He simply wasn't seen by Dimarco. A huge let-off for Inter. Dimarco got his bearings horribly wrong.
Posting in at the far post. Dimarco had a little swing. That might have been the thing that put Dembele off.
Switched on there. Martinez holding off Marquinhos. Pavard, that was risky and anticipated by Hakimi.
Just not expecting that the right back of a back four would be all the way over there, closing him down. See, information required from teammates.
Additional minutes at the end of the first half. It's a stretch for Sommer.
Left a few of his teammates a little bit disappointed. That's why he's holding his hands up, because he had runners either side. A little bit selfish. See what he's trying to do, but never really going to trouble Jan Sommer.
Kvaratskhelia, twisting and turning and getting in the shot, which has gone behind for a corner. Sommer again wrong-footed.
Yeah, I mean, he's been brilliant since he's arrived at the football club. This close control and skill bamboozles defenders. Are PSG going to have time to take this corner? Clock is ticking.
We're going to have a few seconds more. Dembele with a corner kick. Flashed over the top of the crossbar by Kvaratskhelia. He knows that was a chance. It is the final action of the first half, which PSG have dominated. They've scored 2 goals. They could have easily had a third just before the break.
Sports, UEFA Champions League official sponsor.